This week on the Vox Cascadia podcast, we now have commercials, bringing the best part of watching television to your audio-only experience.
Yeah, well, we got some ad reads today because Connor's a loser, but number one in our hearts. Well, I mean, we had a bet with the Patreons, and y'all probably heard it in the previous shows, and so we've got some ads for Connor to read. We're gonna have some more for next week too, because I can get them all together. So we got some coming later in the show. But welcome, I'm Chuck. You heard Connor. Tyler, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How y'all doing?
Good. Now your mic sounds low.
Now it's low. Of course it would be.
That's better.
That's better.
No, you're good. You're good.
You're good.
Chuck's just so demanding.
I know. Like, just make your mic level right, and I'll do the rest. So
it's literally in the same spot, you know.
I know. How are you, Tyler? How are you? How's life?
You know, I've been good. I've been getting a lot of hobby done. I've been kitbashing and painting terrain, and it's been fun. So been staying super busy with my work, which is, you know, that's good, but it definitely takes it out of me. So yeah. What about you?
I've been pretty good. I haven't done a ton of hobby. I went gung-ho on my sanctifiers to get them built, and I got a couple of extra, pulled out some old bits for some proxies with a piece from Blackstone Fortress, some Sisters of Battle, and then got them based, got them primed, and then I haven't done shit with them. So I'm kind of in that like analysis paralysis stage. I need to just sit down at my airbrush and get a zenithal going on them and start painting them. So
yeah, you do. I can't wait to see what you do with them. So, you know, like you proxying some people, that's pretty brave, you know.
I know it took all of me to do it too. So they can't remember any of their names, but the guy with the huge chain sword that's got a flamer on it, I used the Pies of Orn from Blackstone Fortress instead, so I could make him into a preacher.
Good pick.
I took the Sister of Battle from I think she's the leader that has the whip on. What are their chainsword ladies called?
Repentia.
Yeah. I took her and I actually kit bashed the Melta and the book onto her, so she's going to be one of my gunners. And I think it turned out okay. The gun's kind of in a weird position. We'll put it up on the Patreon and on Instagram. I actually put it up on my Instagram. And then I had another one. There's another one. Oh, I made the icon out of another Sister Battle too. So was able to squeak out the gunners as well as two preachers and still have the rest of the specialists too out of the one box. So came out pretty good. But Tyler, you've been doing a ton of kit bashing. I want to get to that in just a minute. But Connor, I want to catch up with you, buddy. What have you been up to?
Not a ton, really. It's just been enjoying the nice warm weather. We've got my plastic Ursarax now, so I can maybe start on my, I don't know what marine half of it, but half marine, half mechanicum Night Lords kill team, because that seems pretty fun. And I've been kind of eyeing Wormblade a little bit. They look pretty neat. They've got a lot of tricks, and they just look interesting to try out.
Can you pick a team that's not getting classified this year? Because you were like Hunterclade, then Vekard, then Phobos now.
No, I can't.
Blooded, and now you're Wormblade.
It's not my fault that all the best team designs are the first year ones, okay?
No, but you can also pick another team.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Like we have some great teams over the last couple seasons. You know, like we're losing some good stuff, no doubt. RIP first season teams, but like you know, it's time to move on. We're living in the future. You know, it's 2025.
Yeah. So Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Also, are you picking Wormblade? Why don't you play Night Lords?
Yeah, I mean, they look interesting. I was talking to Adrian a little bit about them when we were at Adepticon, and they might be an angle to try.
Yeah, well, instead of making those, kit bashing those AdMech, you said AdMech Angels of Death, is that what you said, or Intercessors?
No. It'd be Night Lords. I do like half Marines and then half with like the Mechanicum, like the Ursarax, which are like their Lightning Claw jetpack guys. Use that as the whatever the Night Lords guy with the Lightning Claw's name is that I'm blanking on, and like the gunners can just be the Thalax with the plasma guns and stuff.
All right, do it. I think you should. And remember, it's important that when you're kit bashing, the guns have to match. That's the only thing that matters. We figured that out this weekend, right?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, only exact matching or nothing or die.
For those not privy to it, we had a heated conversation between our two fellow co-hosts here on this weekend about kit bashing, and they were very passionate
Clarity.
about it. Very passionate.
Yeah, there was a lot of passion. I love your passion, Connor. I applaud it.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I love your passion. I just don't love what you choose for your conversions.
Well, in this case, thankfully, I don't think there's anything that'd be too wacky of a
Yeah.
weapon profile here. Everything has a pretty solid 1-to-1 equivalent. The only thing I really got to watch out for is just the jetpacks on the Ursarax and the Thalax. Might give people the wrong impression, but I think it should be fine. Just like they have a jetpack on the model, but that doesn't reflect any rules thing.
You could always take the jetpacks off, couldn't you? Like if you
I need to
really
actually look at the Ursarax. The problem is for the Thalax is the jetpack is also the back half of the model's like torso. So I can
cut it,
definitely work something
cut
away
it,
around it, but
cut the model, Connor.
I
Cut
cut
it.
models all the time. I mean, rather the jetpack itself is the back torso, and it's like there's not an easy splitting option for it.
I
can
don't even
always
know
just
which
fill it.
models you're talking about. What are they?
The Thalax, they're the 30K version of like Sicarians, kind of.
Gotcha.
They're big 40 mil bases, but they can fit on 32s. I've already tested. But they come with like jetpacks, so their whole thing is like move, shoot, move. And then the Ursarax are like those, but no guns, only melee.
I don't think that looking at them just on the GW website, I don't think that those backpacks are so confusing that it
Yeah.
doesn't look much different than the power pack off some power armor. I think you'd be okay with those. What was the
Yeah.
other one? How do you spell that? Ursarax?
Ursarax. Ursarax. Because if you think 40K Mechanicus terms are crazy, just try and play 30K. They're dialed up even higher in terms of ridiculousness.
And these guys just kind of look like they have like big guns on them. I think you could basically I think you could get them off there. I
Yeah.
think it'd be fine. So
I'm not too worried about it, and the nice thing is I'm sure I can work something out if I want to remove the backpack, but at the same time, it just kind of makes the model look cool. It's fun to have the idea of the jetpack, even if it doesn't do anything for the game.
I don't think the backpacks are like really would be the confusing part, if anything. And I think these models would be pretty clear, especially with like a tiny bit of kit bashing,
Yeah.
Like they're fantastic 1-to-1 like stand-ins when you use the right parts, I think.
Well, as from the master of kit bashing himself, Tyler, can you talk us through a little bit? You got your sanctifiers all built up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still thinking about modifying the cherub, because it's really just a proxy. I didn't change anything about it other than stick it on a base. And that's kind of rubbing me the wrong way. Even though I did order just this one piece from a completely separate kit that's not related at all, it's just not enough of a conversion to make me happy. So yeah, that's kind of my sanctifiers were a lot of fun. I like to kit bash teams. I really it's hard for me to be interested in painting a team unless it's kit bash somewhat. Unless it's goats, that drew me in right away. I had an immediate concept. The models were incredible. Easily the best kit I've ever built from Games Workshop or painted. Paint some goats, buy some goats, build some goats. They're fun.
Yeah, sanctifiers. So can you pick maybe a model or two and kind of break down exactly, or maybe where the bits came from, or an idea of where the bits came from?
So generally, I start off with a concept. The goal is to find something in the lore, something obscure or cool or just like whatever bites me for that team. And then you kind of like browse through the bits. So I think for my sanctifiers, we have the base sanctifier kit. We have Cawdor. We have the Redemptionist. I think we have
Cawdor is
AOS.
Necromunda, right?
Yeah, Necromunda.
Yeah.
We have some AOS bits in there. A little bit from Warcry, a little bit from what is that? Underworld. Just like here and there, different stuff. And then a little bit of I think the agents, Imperial agents or Inquisition. And then that's probably like the core of it, I would say. And then we also got some Sigmar militia. So like I was going for my theme with this was like some really militant. Okay, these guys are there to persecute users of chaos. I'm going with some ablationist inquisitors. That's kind of like the retinue. And in the lore, ablationists believe that you need to use chaos. You must. And those who don't wield chaos to end chaos are either too weak to do it or not pure enough to carry out the Emperor's will. Okay? But they also believe that anyone who uses chaos is damned to burn in the Emperor's vengeance. Okay? So it's like really like it's a blade that cuts both ways with these guys. Okay? They're like fanatical. They're absolute like insanity. They're like just like the worst of the worst. Okay, so that's kind of the concept. And so I'm doing like a whole box. So, like that's where it comes from. And then I'm just looking for bits. So this half of it, this is the people that are going to burn the people that use chaos. Okay, except for the demon host, which is my what is that? The psyker. Okay, like the weird looking martyr guy. I made that more of a ghost. And then my confessor is like more chaosy than everyone else because like he's the one wielding chaos and directing these maniacs to burn the people that he has under his control to wield chaos and carry out his will and shape the Imperium how he believes the Emperor guides him to. And so like all of my judgments are like based on that and like creating these fanatics, like with this half. It's like really like what bits are going to make these people look crazy,
This sounds like some heresy.
I mean, like,
no.
I mean, they are viewed as heretics by most other Inquisitors, from what I understand.
I mean, like, like they have their disputes, like, like they definitely don't have definite friends in the Inquisition. Like they raise cults and stuff like that, but like that's to like overthrow weak governors and to like wield the truth of the warp for the Emperor.
I don't know. It sounds like you're straying from the Emperor's light, but
yeah. No, I mean, like maybe a little bit, but like
it sounds super cool. You can actually on your Instagram at Lowbrow Minis, you can see most of the team. I don't think you have a picture of the ghost lady on there, but you can see definitely see the influences from the. I'm looking at
I teased my
Sanctifiers.
I teased my confessor on there the other day. People gave me their hobby confessions with that, that's pretty interesting. Listen to what people had to say. So
can you share some of the hobby confessions? Or was it like
I didn't, I'm a priest. That's private stuff, like I showed you my confessor.
Didn't you post them on the story?
I may have, like
I don't think normal priests do that, but I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know. Normal priests do a lot of shit that's not real great either, so I feel like posting on your Instagram story. So how about this? You can redact.
You should follow me on Lowbrow Minis, and you can see all the stuff I post. Like once it's gone, it's gone. Like that's just what it is, really.
Well, the problem is that I can't go into Instagram because then I had to break myself from Instagram because I was doing way too much doom scrolling on Instagram. So now I don't use social media anymore. I just use Reddit.
I mean, that's probably worse.
It probably
You,
is, but
you can filter Reddit pretty well to just be like the shit that doesn't doom scroll you.
yeah. So
That's what I had to. You have to like unsub for most of it and just make it like the fun hobby posts and games you like.
yeah, that's how I use social media now because I quit Facebook, had to stop using Instagram, so now it's just Reddit. So it's not social media though. That doesn't count, right?
It's site aggregation. It's slightly different.
So Tyler, it sounds like you really came up with a theme for your team. Now, are you excited to play this team too, or is this just kind of a
I,
fun hobby project?
I mean, like the team looks strong, you know. So like, depending on how sweaty I'm feeling around Tacoma, we'll see, you know. But also, like, I'm kitbashing the other half. So, and I may be practicing them, and we'll see what comes out. So, all of these teams look really fun. They all have a lot of abilities. They're looking strong, maybe a little too strong at the moment, and I don't want to like run over people. Like
Since
that's not
when?
as fun.
It's not as fun
I
to
mean,
run
like
over
I don't.
people because the team's like
Yeah,
crazy good.
overpowered.
Yeah,
I like to run over people because I'm good, not because like the team's overpowered. Like that's different.
So
it's not as impressive to run people over when you have what 14 inches move turn one.
Yeah, with a Melta or
if
like a flamer with indirect.
Genius.
yeah, they're have you guys played against either team yet or seen them played?
I've seen them played.
Uh,
I've seen both teams played. The Goremongers look pretty disgusting in terms of damage reduction and healing, and
yeah.
Sanctifiers are crazy fast. Who would have thought?
Yep, absolutely. Both teams look really, really nutty. I haven't played either. Just been too busy myself to get out and play. But everything I've seen looks absolutely insane.
Yeah, I watched Ryan this weekend, who's shooting blanks on the Discord. I watched him play into Wrecca Crew with them, and it was a learning game. Which, first off, what kind of jerk brings Sanctifiers to a learning game? No, he didn't realize he was going to be playing a learning game, but against Steven, who had Wrecca Crew, and I just kind of hung out. And since I'm the number one orc player in the U.S.
Well
Um,
done, buddy. Well done.
it's literally just based on my ability to travel to events is all it is. It
Hey,
has
it
nothing to do with actual
works.
skill.
It doesn't matter. You've put in the work and effort to travel to those events, so right now that is reflected.
It's like the participation trophy of Kill Team because Nick is actually I think number 2 with Rekkas, and Nick went 1-6 at a tournament, and he's still number 2 in the U.S. with Rekkas at the as of last week when we looked last. So, but it was interesting to watch them, and Ryan didn't even go full out with them, and they were still just ridiculous as far as like being able to fly up the board. You can once your confessor moves, and then everybody in a 12-inch bubble basically gets to move as long as you stay within a 12-inch bubble. You're so fast and you can get up the board so quick. And yeah, they got
Yeah.
4/4 flamers, right? And their gunners have chain swords too. So
Great looking models and pretty strong rules. It'll be exciting, and hopefully we get a BDS soon to maybe make them look a little bit more fun to play against.
yeah, I'm wondering if we're
Yeah,
gonna have like an emergency data slate for these, kind of like they did in the summer of Colts as it was.
Yeah.
I definitely think that these teams are like hot, like OG Pathfinders, Novitiates, Colts, early Felgor. Like they're gnarly,
Yeah, I was wondering if there was a little bit of that novitiate feel that you used to like, Tyler, and that's kind of what drew you to him as well.
I mean, like, I don't think that they're as much of a control team as Novitiates were. Like, this team is just, like, kind of run over your face. Like, they're just strong. They hit reliably. Novitiates, like, I feel like they used to they exercise a lot of control on board flow, and that's why I enjoyed them. This team is just like guaranteed hits, really devastating weapons, really fast movement. Lots of damage coming from lots of places. A lot of control on the movement too. So you can just like get in and out where you need to when you need to. It's like hard to overextend yourself with sanctifiers. You definitely can. They're a hard team to pilot. I think that Goremongers are more forgiving overall. Taking a look at the team and like kind of mapping out how they play. But like sanctifiers are just they're gnarly on a level we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, I'm excited to try them out. I brought them this weekend to Chris to Zero Cool's house to potentially play, but there was an odd numbers, and so I ended up just kind of watching a game with them. And then, like I said,
You were cocked.
I was cucked. Yeah, I just sat in the corner and watched.
Sorry, buddy.
No, I enjoy it. Trust me.
Mm.
So but like I said, I've been super excited to get them painted. And by the way, if you want to know what they're going to look like the box art. But then like I said, I get this analysis paralysis about like paranoia about like I haven't painted hundreds of models for some reason, and I can't get going with them. So then I just started building my Goremongers instead. So, and they're pretty fun to build. They got some cool faces.
Have any of you built the statue yet?
No. I built the statue
a
couple years ago because I found one at Mindtaker for like $30.
Hey, that's what I paid for this statue.
Yeah.
Did you just buy the statue, Connor?
I bought the statue and then the Blood and Zeal cards off someone.
Okay. I haven't even looked
aren't
at the cards.
Very exciting. They look fun, but they're nothing too crazy. Other than like there is one for it where it's just straight up like you don't even roll dice. All your attacks are hits, which is pretty fun. But that's about the only like truly crazy unique thing that seems new to the cards from what I recall.
Tyler, have you got the box set? Have you looked through the Blood and Zeal book at all?
Not at all, actually. I did read the lore part like before the box was out, but I haven't looked at it since.
You should go, and since I have a second statue, at first I thought I was going to get rid of it, but now if you go to the back of the Blood and Zeal book, they actually have some like hobby stuff in it where they show you a couple ways to like kit bash and paint the statue.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Okay. That is neat. Like I like that. Like they should do more of that. I thought they've done pretty well with the Kill Team books overall this season. I've been pretty happy with them.
I think in the back of this one, which also it's the smallest Kill Team book I've ever seen. In the back of this one, they have, I think it's a chaos statue where they show you how to like chaosify your statue in it. So it was pretty cool, actually. Something GW getting back to its roots of like make your own shit with our shit, no styrofoam and stuff, but it's pretty neat. You should, I think you'll enjoy it, Tyler.
I'll dig it out tonight and take a look at it.
And then as far as conversions, I know Greg is doing like a Necron Goremonger team. I sent him off, and I think
Necromongers.
Yeah. I sent him off a sprue of flayed ones, and he should have got those last week, which I think he was going to use just basically the bodies for them. I saw he had a not Trazen Oratek or Oricon the Diviner for. Is that who he had for his?
One of the millions of characters they have.
I think it was Trazen because he's pretty upright.
Was it Trazen? Yeah, it was pretty. He showed that on the Discord. It was pretty cool. So, yeah. Tyler, do you have a Kitbashing inspiration for your? Goremongers.
I mean, you're providing me some bits for it, so
oh yeah,
you're a little in on it, but they're going to be the chaos half of this. They're going to be the cult that was raised by my Lord Inquisitor, and they're going to be the ones kind of carrying out the chaos, and they're going to come in conflict with the Sanctifiers as they come to burn them for being the heretics that they are, because while they were brave enough to wield the Emperor's light into the masses, they still deserve to burn for the heretics that they are. So we're going to use we have some Chaos Legionaries from Warcry. We have some Hounds of Karnak. We got the Goremongers. We have some Unmade. And then I may mix in some Repentia and Arcoflagellants in there to kind of give that like Imperial touch on some of the units.
Yeah, Greg found those for you at Adepticon, and he handed them to me.
Hero.
he handed them to me to bring to you, and I didn't look more than once at them, so I totally forgot even what that was. So, but hopefully I can get those to you this weekend.
Absolutely. I've been looking for those for over a year at like a price that's less than $140. So
for which ones in particular?
The Unmade. If you guys, if you have,
yeah, those are like the really tall, like crazy looking dudes.
Yeah, I have a set painted up. I love them. They're great models, but like I can't bring myself to like strip them and convert them. Because I love the ones I painted for.
No, that's fair.
Warcry, a game I'm never gonna play again.
What's a dead game, right?
Seems to be, man.
It's a dead game. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I love Warcry. I think Warcry is cool as fuck, but like, it just like it lacks a little bit, And if you know, you know. And like, if you say it doesn't,
tell me,
you're
what's it lack?
Good as a game, but like,
Hold on, Tyler, start over.
Oh, okay.
You got it. There's a three second delay when I hit record.
Wow.
I have to actually edit stuff.
Right.
Cool.
Okay. Like Warcry overall was like a good game, but like it just, it lacks the structure needed to like be a really playable game. There's like too much planning that goes into it, and then like the amount of units needed to make a functional Warcry list, okay, that flexes into all the situations to have for a tournament becomes like really overwhelming because there's so many options. While a lot of people don't like it, Kill Team is a fixed roster game, and it works really well for it. It means that you can pick a team and you know what operatives you need to build, and that's what you're limited to. And then from there, the tactical creativity comes in. And if you want to hobby, there's more than enough ways to do that. You're not limited by the models, really, unless you want to paint something really big. Other than that, there is like space for hobby, as we discussed earlier in the show. I've kitbashed so many units for Kill Team, and if you can't come up with a creative idea, that's like, sorry to say that's on you. That's not on the game.
I've never really like the lack of a roster has never really bothered me, because even when I do have the ability to flex my roster, I very rarely do. I think I ran, and maybe it's just the teams I'm picking, since like I played Castrican for a long time, and I maybe every once in a while would swap out one guy. I ran the same guys all the time, and then same thing with Rekkas too. Like every once in a while, I'll swap like a gunner, but that's about it.
The reason that you need to swap so much is because that Warcry, at its very core, has unbalanced missions. Okay, like the way that you deploy, the way you come in on the game, stuff like that is really, really swingy. And like, it's a fun game. Like, don't get me wrong. I think it's really fun. Like, if me and 6 people got together and we all brought boxed Warcry teams, okay, and we all fought against each other in like a 1-day campaign where we leveled up those heroes, maybe like you could bring like 2 mercenaries, those are the only 2 things, that's all you can bring. That's pretty cool. That's fun. Like, it plays fast. It's like really narrative and stuff like that, but it lacks the ability for like quick, cohesive pickup play. Like that's what Warcry lacks, and Kill Team like has. You can set up with anyone, and you can play a fairly balanced game. As much as I hate map packs, they do help people in setting up like relatively balanced games for people to play without too much thought.
Well, it's a dead game anyway, so we don't have to worry about it, right?
Yeah.
Bummer,
I
because
mean, like
they've got some great
maybe it'll.
models.
They have incredible models. Buy them while you can, y'all. So I'm stocking up.
I feel like this season of Kill Teams had a pretty solid models. I don't think any of the teams have been.
Hundred
Have any
percent new
teams?
models.
Yeah, and have any of the teams been like just lame, bad, like dumb?
No.
Like
I
I've
mean,
enjoyed
like
every team.
I will say that some of the scopes for the sanctifiers feel a little flat, kind of like an improvement on the Imperial Agents Inquisition, which are a further improvement on the Star Striders overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think my only problem, and I actually used a lot of the hoods on my sanctifiers because I didn't like all the kind of friar tuck heads they had, most of them. So
Boo, boo!
yeah,
They're so fun.
no. Although actually on the what's the guy with the hammer and the like the light
Drill
or
Abbey.
whatever, the drill
The
abbot.
Drill
If
Abbot.
you if you actually if the drill abbot had hair, he'd look like Greg with those mutton chops that he's got. Have you guys noticed that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I kit bashed mine. Like my Drill Abbot's mostly the same. Okay, it's like the OG body and weapons and everything. I like the Drill Abbot. I think he was cool,
Because
but I
he's
used
based
an
on an
AOS.
Inquisitor 54 model, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I love the reference. Like it's so good. But I used
Yeah, a
an
lot of the team
AOS.
was apparently like, not necessarily resculpts, but very clearly inspired by some of the old Inquisitor 54. Like, even in the preview article about it, they were
Yeah.
talking, which was really neat to see those guys come back at like a more detailed but smaller scale level.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, but like the Drill Abbot, I think he kind of likes it's the closest head I've seen on a human that looks like me. So I put that one on there, the one that I swapped on from this AOS kit. So
That's pretty good.
you
He
know,
needs more
so
beard though.
I mean this he does need a little bit more beard, but I've been trimming my beard a bit lately. It was getting like kind of crazy there for a minute,
It was getting kind of
unruly.
wild.
Yeah, so and then like one of the things that I liked about the AOS, the City of the Sigmar militia kit, which I used for a couple of mine. The guy with the chainsword with the flamer on it. They got some fat bodies on them there, and I used the Friar Tuck head, when people call it the thumb face, on it. For some fatty representation. Like there needs to be more of that in 40K. Like just because it's like so there's like a dissonance with it, like you think of like 40K, everything's like even though they live in like excess, um, fat is probably like rare. Like so to like see like a witch hunter that's fat, that like screams like levels of excess and stuff like that, and like this really subtle way that I just love.
Yeah, actually, I did look at the Cities of Sigmar stuff too when I was looking for some ideas for to fill in the extra bodies. So I can see now that you used a couple of those too. I like the witch hunters that you used too.
Yeah,
Those are super ones. Like Van Galen or Galen Van Ness or something. I don't know.
One of my gunners.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you gonna do anything special with the bases right now? I mean, are you a basing guy? I know you're a
me?
kitbash guy, but
Oh yeah. Like so I'll base them, and then like add some like rocks and tufts and stuff like that. But I generally paint first and then base, like kind of partway through that process. Um, to like, because I gotta like feel the vibe, like the basing comes second. It comes to me as I'm painting them, because like a lot of my process is like I'm trying to imagine who these psychopaths are, like who is the guy with two guns, like two flamers, like what's his deal? And like when I'm assembling him, I'm like, I'm trying to imagine like who these people are, and it's the same with all of my things, like all of my night lords. It's like try to kind of while I may not like flesh out a story, I'm trying to kind of project onto them like the mood I'm going for. Maybe like write a tiny little narrative, even for a second, that gives me that inspiration to insert them into the world, and give it that like little bit of authenticity. You know.
I've actually gone even box art with my basing lately on my Rekka crew, and now on these guys. I'm trying to do the kind of almost bare base with a couple little rocks on it that you see on the box art for these guys. I think it turned out pretty good with my Rekka crew, and I'm doing it again on my sanctifiers too. And I actually really I like that look. But will you now, Tyler? They're on the bases already. Will you like rip them off the bases, throw some stuff underneath them, or is it going to build? You going to build around the feet as they are?
I'll build it around the feet as they are. I'll probably use like a watered down paste to get like a pretty thin coat, and then some pigments, and then like tufts and rocks. For kill team stuff, I like to keep the bases pretty minimal for 40k. Like when because like I have a couple 40k armies. I'll get like but like I don't ever intend on playing 40k, but I'll get a little more extravagant with the bases. Like my chapter master for my Dark Angels, he's standing on stairs with like a carpet, like in like a ruined city, and like so's my like dreadnought. He's like got his like leg up, and it's like like pretty overdone for a lot of them, and like my base guys are like standing on like ruined tile and things like that. So
I saw a video on, it was a short on YouTube today when I was eating lunch. I with basing that I actually kind of wanted to try out, where they took essentially like some of the basing paste you get from GW, or I think Vallejo has them or whatever, and just applied it directly to the base. But then while it was still wet, dipped that into some sand too.
mm-hmm.
So instead of waiting for it to dry and doing like the wash and the dry brush that a lot of people do on those, it turned out pretty cool. I liked how they did that. I've never seen anybody do that. I've never seen anybody use that like texture paste like that.
How did it like end up looking? So was it the texture paste was more of like a glue for it to form in kind of ridges and ways like that, or what did it end up looking like?
It looked good. Let's see if I can find it.
So I think that like with a lot of stuff, especially like basing or weathering, it's about building layers, because like everything in life, especially like natural things or like things that are used or worn a lot, has like layers of use and patina and stuff to it. And like that's what creates like a believable thing. So like anytime you can like layer like a paste, and then say like a sand, and then even a pigment powder on top of that, you're gonna get like layers of like fineness to it that's going to add to that level of realism, and impact on it. You know,
Like an ogre with all the layers.
yeah, absolutely.
Nice. But no, I think on a more real note, that does make sense because it's very rare of it for stuff to be monotone, or not monotone, but mono layer, with like the exception of really sandy deserts, like when you're walking through sand dunes type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that like you're going to, if you're going to do that for your dudes, you're going to communicate it with like ridges and then like shadows on the thing, rather than variety and texture and stuff like that. I like texture. Like that's like my favorite part of like painting and like miniatures. If you look at a lot of my stuff, like why I prefer oil paints is because of like texture. Yeah, I just think it's like really cool. Love texture.
See, and I'm trying to do everything I can to get rid of texture and have stuff nice, smooth blends and stuff. And Tyler's over here
Mhm.
adding texture. You're. I've said it before, but your terrain looks like you're gonna. If you touch it, you're just gonna get tetanus from it, from all the texture that you add to it. Looks great.
Mhm. Yeah, and then when I need it, the smoothness, I got my oils. So come over to the oils, Chuck. Try them. You'll love them.
Yeah, I do. It's called an oil wash. That's it. That's all I'm going. So,
Oil
um,
base. oil wash,
or acrylics. This episode is not sponsored by oils as much as Tyler would love to have it sponsored by Big Oil, but it is sponsored by, I guess, our Patreon. And because of that, let's hear about Kill Team Nachos, one of our sponsors. Connor.
Okay, Chuck. Yeah. Kill Team Nachos. Thank you so much, Sean, for being our sponsor. But here we go. Here's my script. Chuck just passed under the door, so let's go. Hello, audience. Are you tired of digging through your Kill Team accoutrements to find a concealed token, engage token, or some sort of objective marker? Why deal with having to switch out your tokens when you can use Kill Team Nachos? Kill Team Nachos are all you need in one engaged and concealed tokens. Whether you are engaged or concealed, flip back to the end of the turning point or one of those people who don't. Kill Team Nachos have you covered. Who needs cardboard tokens when you can have the amazing, tasty resin of Kill Team Nachos? Bug Sean for your STL today.
Oh, the eating caught me off guard. Oh, that was too good.
Thank you.
Well,
yes. I got a random message from Chuck asking if I owned potato chips, and I was just so genuinely confused where he was going with this that I almost didn't answer.
I'm just gonna randomly just ask you about just weird random shit from now on, just to throw you off. But yes, Kill Team Nachos. Sean ABC Minis has your STL if you want them, and one of our Patreons. And thanks Kill Team Nachos for sponsoring this episode, and thank you Connor for losing the turn. You can stop eating now though.
No, I have 2 more chips to eat, but I can mute the mic. But yeah, Kill Team Nachos are great. Highly recommend them. I've used them. Plenty of the community uses them. You don't really realize how useful they are until you use it for like one turn, and you're like, oh, I get it now.
Well, we have another sponsor too.
Are we doing both sponsors right now?
Yeah.
So God damn it! I just minimized the thing.
Clear out your mouth and get to our next sponsor.
Let me take a sip of the true sponsor, good old Diet Dr. Pepper, the drink of champions.
I wish Diet Dr. Pepper sponsored us. We get those.
Dude, I do too. I'd have an endless amount of Diet Dr. Pepper. I already do, but I wouldn't have to pay for it.
I hate that like Trapped Under Plastic is trying to like colonize Mountain Dew. You know, like there's enough Mountain Dew for all of us, fellas.
What are they trying to do? I haven't.
Yeah, they were like they were hard on the Mountain Dew for a minute. It's been a minute since I watched their podcast. You know, but no hate, just busy. But they were trying to take over, get Mountain Dew to sponsor them. Like they were the Mountain Dew Miniature Gaming War, podcast. And I'm like, whoa, well, calm down, guys.
I mean, you shill enough, and maybe somebody will recognize you. And they're a semi-large podcast.
Yeah, with the amount,
a little bigger than ours.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe one day we can get sponsored by Taco Bell. That'd be the true dream. Then I can get Mountain Dew Baja Blast Zero.
Oh man, I get all the Taco Bell breakfast I want. And then you're really gonna get your fat representation in Kill Team there, Tyler. That'll be me.
Yeah. What's your guys' favorite item at Taco Bell?
Right now, it is easily the grilled chicken cheesy street chalupa tacos. Those things are fantastic.
It's the breakfast crunch wrap with no meat.
Okay. Solid choices.
Tyler?
I think the Cantina chicken tacos, the Caliente, are really good lately. If you guys haven't had them, they're kind of...
I have had those. Those are also good. The Cantina chicken in general has just been really good. I like this
really good
new pseudo menu they have with like a grilled chicken rather than the ground beef, or not ground beef, but like ground chicken.
Yeah, and I do think those like street chalupas are good. I'm not a huge fan of the sauce, and you can't swap the sauce out for anything.
That's fair.
Any of the other good sauces. I just think it's like a little bit too much like their Chipotle sauce, and I'm not a fan of that. So
no, that's fair. I wish someday they'll bring back the grilled chicken Chipotle ranch burrito, because that was my go-to, and then they got rid of it, and I was genuinely sad for like a week because I loved it so much.
I wish they'd bring back the fajita grilled stuffed burrito.
Oh, that was a good one actually. I had that one back in the day. Yeah, deep cut.
What about the Santa Fe gordita?
Don't think I ever had that one.
Real ones, no.
Yeah, I do
When
miss.
was that around? I don't think I've ever even heard of that. So that might be a pre-Connor being old enough to order food.
But I think that's pre Baja Blast.
Wow, so yeah, that might actually be pre-Connor being able to order food.
Well, I'm all on Taco Bell breakfast. That's my jam.
Those are
I
also good.
stop when I
Not a fan.
what
Tyler, that's
what
crazy talk, man.
what the fuck, Tyler?
Fast food egg does my stomach a number, and that's it. It's good,
That's
but
fair.
otherwise,
Fast
you
food
know,
egg is like a
I,
weird thing.
I don't know. I like the weird. I like
That like
like
school
you would
cafeteria egg.
hotel
that's
eggs. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
fuck
a
yeah.
little disturbing. You know, like that fits with you what I know about you, and adds like a layer of like weirdness to your character. You know, I love you more and less in this moment, Chuck.
I'm telling you, we went to when we were at the Cascade Clash, and we had the continental breakfast at whatever the hotel was that we stayed at. I every morning I got a giant plate full of eggs from them, from their chafing dish full of hotel
Like
eggs that they poured out of a box
pla-
or whatever.
plastic eggs.
It's so good. And we got enough plastic in us anyways. I mean, come on. What's wrong with plastic eggs?
Just like pure sulfur. Like nothing.
Yeah.
It's like elemental sulfur as a food.
You know, there's actually a salt called black salt or kala namak
Is this
that
like pink
vegans and
Himalayan salt?
no, it's different. Himalayan salt is just bullshit. Anyways, it's not really.
It feels like it,
It
but
is.
it's
It
pink,
is.
which is kind of cute.
Yeah, it's just salt. No, kala namak or black salt is what vegans and vegetarians use when they make like a tofu scramble to get that eggy flavor. Oh, it just tastes like sulfur. It it tastes like eggs. It's the weirdest thing when you try it. You're just not expecting
Okay.
it. It's good though.
Interesting. So I when I lived in Kansas, I went to like a salt mine for like a tour. Okay, and we're down there and like on the tour, and halfway through they start talking shit about the pink Himalayan salt. They're like, that is not suitable salt. They're like, that is salt with impurities. It's not pure salt. That's just iron deposits, meaning low quality salt. We would never, like right there, over there in the trash pile of the salt. That is, and you see the red crystal salt. It's just a gimmick, y'all. You're paying more for shitty salt. Like you're completely right. Like the salt people in Kansas were telling me all about it.
The more you know, we're exposing big pink salt. Okay,
hmm
you don't need that
I,
shit.
We're
Get
I mean,
only
yourself
like
snake
some
oil
I
fans
kosher
here.
salt.
I do like some pink salt on my avocado toast. I'm a millennial, okay?
But do you need pink salt, or do you just need like a flaky, like a Malden salt?
No, I mean
Or
like I got a Malden flake salt. That's really what I use. Like that's the real shit. If you know, you know, and if you
you
don't
know,
know, you need to experience it.
Tyler's separating a lot of people into like categories. If you know, you know, war cry. If you know, you know, flake salt.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Like like for the girls that know, they know.
If you know, you know, actually for your avocado toast, it's the Trader Joe's everything but the bagel seasoning.
Mm,
That's that's the way to go.
no,
What? Have you tried it?
it's fine. Like it's good. Like,
Bro,
but it's just like too much. I want to keep it simple. Keep it simple,
no,
stupid.
you go everything but the bagel salt, and then you go with some of that like chili oil, like that crispy chili flake stuff. Oh my goodness. Then
Yeah, are
you're
you
talking
using
about
that
like
Momofuku garbage? Or are you
no,
using the
I just
OG
use
stuff?
the no, I just use a shit from Costco. So
Okay,
you can
good.
get like a gallon jar of it for $2, I think, at Costco. I'm not going to pay like $20 for the Momofuku stuff that he tried to copyright.
Oh man, that bastard.
It's like a deep cut callback from like episode like 10 or something too. I think we
Mhm.
talked about it then. So
Did we? Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Like
So
it's just like the impact that the little things have on our life. Like this podcast is really about like capitalism and the effects on your average man.
Speaking of capitalism and the effects on the average man, Connor, why don't you tell us a little bit about our next sponsor?
Yeah, nice segue, buddy. And sure thing. Hey everyone, you all know that I love the Omnissiah as much as the next Scutari, but does your love for the Omnissiah ever show a little too quickly? Like me, you might be suffering from premature data transfer. As you become closer to the Omnissiah, we all want to praise him as soon as we can, but sometimes your servitor needs some more time to get to get to their point of praise too. So that's why we're introducing the newest product from Belisarius Call, maker of everyone's favorite Space Marines, the Aggressors. Introducing Orgasm Later. Take Orgasm Later before you start to worship the Omnissiah to make sure that both you and your partner's prayers are heard. Ask your Magus biologist today about Orgasm Laser. Orgasm Laser is not for everyone, including anyone with a black carapace, forearms, or grown from a mushroom. Side effects include promiscuous thoughts about that one server skull who you think winked at you, leaking arc reactors, and hemorrhoids. I hate you.
Oh, yes. Orgasmulator. That's the new hotness for that premature data transfer that we.
I do like that euphemism. That you for not knowing much about AdMech, you did a good job about putting a solid amount of AdMech terms in there.
Well, our buddy Sherd was the one who came up with premature data transfer, and then I kind of
I should have known
on the rest. Yeah, so
only Schnerd could come up with something so classic like that. I couldn't credit that to you.
I mean, I expanded on it.
That was the only good part. I take it all back.
Fine, that's fine. So we'll yes, thank you so much, Kill Team Nachos and Orgasmulator, for sponsoring this podcast, and thank you so much for our Patreons who had this little challenge. And I think we're gonna have a couple more, like we'll have a couple more ad reads next week. I didn't get the time to put the rest together, but I mean, because we're gonna have more sponsors, is what it is.
Obviously,
yeah, absolutely. Like we are a becoming podcast. You know, like if you haven't heard this episode yet, like where are you? Like, what are you doing? Yeah,
So,
if this is your first time tuning in, I should say, if you haven't listened to anything before this episode, what have you been doing with your life? We're glad you're here. Seek help. If it ever gets worse, if you stop listening or anything like that.
And to say thank you to our Patreons, Jenna, Cody, Sam, Sean Ross in the free tier now. What? Oh, Nick.
He mentioned that. He said something about he's gonna. Okay,
shut up.
Okay, sorry.
Just shade. No, he's just trying to time his bills. We appreciate the support. He'll be back. He better be back. Holly, Zarin, Greg, Rob McLeod, Zach, Scott, Morgan. Oh, Morgan's in the free tier. Keaton. And yeah, so we appreciate everyone who helps out to keep the lights on. And Tyler, you and I are actually attending a tournament together in May. So are we gonna do the challenge? Like loser does a challenge from the Patreons again?
Yeah, absolutely. What are you gonna have to get bash whole team? Maybe not like paint like box art, and I would have to paint box art.
Yeah, with acrylics.
I mean, no problem. Like, acrylics are.
He's screaming on the inside. He's taking the news but he's screaming on the inside.
You guys haven't even seen my acrylic work. It's so beautiful.
Well, if that's not a problem for you, then we'll have to figure something else out.
With markers, like those marker paints we saw.
You guys gonna buy? Oh, you gonna buy me those AK paint markers? I'd so be down to use those.
No, see, that's not the point, though. The point is we need to be.
I was like, yeah, you guys are getting excited, me. Yeah, I was getting so excited. I was gonna need orgasm. Yeah. Like if you guys keep tempting me like this with new and exciting things, like I'll become the title sponsor or the title promoter for that sponsor. So
you're going to be on the cover, the box cover for Orgasmulator.
Yeah. Would you guys sell out? Would you ever guys do like an ad like that? I mean, you do like a hemorrhoid cream like ad.
I mean, money's money, man. As long as I'm getting paid, why not? I'll say dumb shit all the time for less. I say dumb shit right now for free.
Shit for free.
Yeah.
How much would you need to be paid to be like the face of like erectile dysfunction?
20K,
like
10K,
20K a year.
Yeah,
a year.
Yeah,
Whoa.
20K a year is like
I
that's pretty good.
like for erectile dysfunction in your 20s.
Why
That's
not?
all it
Yeah.
would take.
I mean, I'd be the face of it, but also at the same time, I'd be like, hey, I'll get a boner right now. I'll show you. I will show you a boner right now. I'm just doing it for the money. I can get a boner.
Uh-huh.
I promise you. Give me like 20 minutes.
If anything, they'll just give me more bits to do, so it's a win-win for me. I get paid, and my face is everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd do 20K.
20K. Just like you guys, just 20K. You
20K
guys
is
would
a
have
lot
to
of
do like
money.
you'd have to do a couple public appearances a year, like conventions and stuff like that. So they'd
I'd have
pay.
a fee
They'd
for
pay.
that. Yeah.
No, they'd pay. This is one fee, all inclusive. It's for everything. You're doing 6 commercial spots a year, okay, and you're doing 3 conventions. They're paying for your hotel, your lodging, and then a flat fee beyond any like travel expenses or anything needed for it.
I mean, Tyler, you're balking at 20K. What's your number?
I like to be the face of something. They better be paying me at least an annual salary to live comfortably in my area, which sounds about like $80,000.
I mean,
I
it
guess
depends on how much work do I have to do. You said what? You said 3 to 6 conventions a year.
No, you need to do 3 conventions a year, so that's travel
Okay.
for 4 days a week. Like any like basic public appearances, like media stuff, and then 6 commercials.
I mean, with
Commercial
that amount of
filming
work,
can be
I'd
like
jump it up to 30K. But like, yeah, whatever. Money's money.
commercials filming can be like 2 weeks a year. Like
Yeah, but I mean, like 2 weeks a year, and then like what, another 3 weeks to do appearances. That's fine. I'll just time those
well, I
appearance
mean like
conventions.
per commercial. Like, let's say.
Okay.
Well, see, when you add in those stipulations, that's different. I thought you were just talking about like
My face being on billboards. Yeah.
yeah, or like
You'd be on billboards. You'd be on television spots like before movies. Like just like normal stuff. Like you'd be like Progressive's Flow, but only commercials. For erectile dysfunction.
I mean, yeah. I mean, okay. When you laid out that way, yes, 20K doesn't sound like very much.
Yeah, I thought you just meant like my voice and my
You
face on
guys,
billboards.
you guys are bad at negotiating this kind of stuff.
No,
If
no,
I was like
once you give us the
if I was
terms,
if I
if
was
you're
a demon from Supernatural, I would trap you guys so hard. I'd have your
I'm
souls
already trapped
like
by like
this for like
4
nothing.
demons, so we just
Nothing.
get in line.
Like
I mean-
nothing. I
mean-
like I'm just saying I wouldn't fall for that stuff. And you guys trap easy for like nothing. Like $5,000? Like whew, Connor. Like Chuck at like less than 20,000. You guys
I mean,
I'm
yeah. But again, it's not. Once you lay out what it is, that's different. You said the face of.
Yeah, and
You
the
think a
face up to
demon
me just
does?
makes me think my face on billboards. Like,
Yeah.
You
20K
I mean,
for
like,
20K to take like 2 pictures, or like to use a stock photo of me and saying that this guy can't get hard.
Like for like people to know, would you guys rather be hemorrhoid cream or erectile dysfunction?
hemorrhoid cream? I don't know. Like, both are
Probably-
equally embarrassing, really.
I don't know. I'd probably be erectile dysfunction. I think that's more.
Yeah.
I think like
That one's definitely funnier. Hemorrhoid cream is just more like, man, that sucks. There's nothing really funny that you can do about it.
Yeah, I think I go with ED, because I feel like there's a lot more solutions for ED because especially since it's a male focused problem. So that's when we get the solutions for it. It's
Unfortunately,
gender affirming care is okay when it's for dudes, but when it's for other people, no, can't have that, right?
Well, yeah, just be a dude.
Yeah, not in the United States. You can't,
or the UK now.
Yeah, fuck. We're so sorry for all of our trans listeners. We love you and we support you. We know it's incredibly frightening right now. So.
But yes, on that unfortunately too real note of how politics are going, yeah, I think probably pills in that point. There's just something more funny about that than hemorrhoid cream.
Yeah, I think hemorrhoid cream just seems like a bad time. Boner pills seems
Like, haha, boners. This is funny
Well,
because we
okay,
all went to
okay.
sixth grade.
Would you rather be the face of like gas station boner pills or like pharmaceutical boner
Definitely
pills?
gas station. Those are infinitely funnier than like real boner pills because the names
100%.
alone are like so much better.
Uh-huh.
what names are the ones that you use, Connor?
Rockin' Rhino, T-Rex Armageddon, um, Chuck Norris's ultimate pill of destruction and power.
Yeah, he knows all of them.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites too.
Which one's Sierra's favorite?
She likes
It seems like a T-Rex kind of
banana.
girl.
No, she likes banana slings ribbed for her pleasure.
Nice. And if you had a chance with Shadowheart, what would her favorite be?
Oh my god. The same answer because this is getting too. Our limited Patreon numbers are dropping by the second because we've been talking about boner pills for about 5 minutes.
This is what they're here for. They're here for the hangout experience, and like when friends hang out, they talk about the real stuff that matters. Anyways, it's been a great night talking to you guys about boner pills and hemorrhoid cream and kitbashing and all the other wonderful stuff. You can find us online at Patreon at Vox Cascadia. You can find me at Lowbrow Minis or dicestore.bigcartel.com, Connor at Spanaway everywhere, and Chuck Painting Cave Minis on Instagram. He posts sometimes, so
I have posted
check us
more
out.
since we started this podcast than I did in like the previous 2 years.
That is true.
Yeah.
Adepticon was great for your posting.
Yeah, I did post like 3 times. It's wild. So we also, there is, as of current count, 6 tickets left for the Rum Runners Rumble.
That's going to be a blast, you guys. I was finishing touches on Long Team as we did this podcast. So if you don't know what Long Team is, come to the Rum Runners Rumble and play it. Maybe
Tyler,
if you get lucky.
Have you ever seen the Long Man gum commercials from Japan?
No, send it to me.
I'll have
sounds
to.
fantastic.
They're like one of Sierra's favorite commercials, and every time you say "long team," it's like a vocal tick. Where in the commercial they're like "long man," and that's all I can think of for it. So if anyone else has seen that like infomercial from Japan, now you can too.
This is going to bring up my favorite commercial, Boat of Speed. I think Chuck. I think you're gonna love this one. I'm gonna post it for you guys. I'll post it to the page. I'll post it to the Patreon's chat after this episode goes live, so that people can hear the context, so they don't think I'm just posting the most insane.
Or we can just post them right now with no context, and just you'll find out in a couple of days or one day.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, 3 hours. So,
yep.
But speaking of that, I got to go edit this. So thank you, gentlemen. Sign up
have
for
a great
Rum
night.
Runners. CritCon information coming soon. And Connor, you can sign us off.
Oh, we've also got a bunch of other local tournaments really quick. One coming up here early May, so sign up for that one if you're in the Kitsap area. So
that's not sold out.
That is not sold out, no. Otherwise, signing off. Thank you so much to Sean for your battle nachos, to Boner Pills, and to everyone's dogs out there. Let's give your dog an extra pet for me.
Andy wants to go to the bathroom anyways.
Well, cats will be next week.
Stroke that pussy, Tyler.
Nope, that's why we're not doing this.